Hello, this is Justice Backstrom, and welcome back to God, Guns, Gaming, and GOP. Today I'll be addressing an issue that's been brought up increasingly recently. That is whether or not the American population could plausibly defeat the U.S. government if we were to go to war against one another. I'll be working off the assumption that the reason we're going to war is because they tried to take away our guns, as the primary reason we're even allowed to own guns is to fight them, in case they do, and because they'd have to take them away before they could do anything else worth fighting over, presumably. At any rate, the reason for the hypothetical war is somewhat irrelevant. Anyways, I'll start now. Okay, so the first thing to consider would be the size of the opposing armies. The U.S. military has roughly 3 million members, but the vast majority of them are conservatives and pro-gun and would likely not be on the government side in this situation. So let's put that number down to 1.5 million, which is still generous. On the other side is the American population, which is about 350 million. However, there are closer to 70 million gun owners, and not even all of them would be willing to fight the government. Of course, there would also be many non-gun owners who would still object to this government overreach and would want to fight them. Putting all this information together, I came up with about 10 million Americans versus 5 million U.S. sympathizers. Fortunately for the Americans, it's unlikely the government would be able to successfully implement a draft whilst at war with its citizens. Next, we must consider the amount of firepower each side would have. To start with, the U.S. military is ridiculously overpowered, but you have to remember two things. Much of the military is on our side and might have even taken over the military completely. Secondly, we're probably not on an open battlefield where tanks and explosives would be useful, and they certainly couldn't go around nuking us. Almost certainly. On the other hand, they have machine guns and stuff that we don't really have available to us, at least not as readily. However, one can pretty easily improvise explosives using ammunition and whatnot. Two, as we get established as a separate nation, we would start to manufacture our own heavy weaponry. And three, our guys already in the armed forces would likely be able to provide us with tons of munitions anyways. The next thing to consider would be our motivations. In this hypothetical situation, the government's only motivation would simply be to trample on our rights, whereas our motivation would be to retain our rights and our way of life. Motivation makes a big difference in war. It's why the poor, agricultural, less populated South nearly won the Civil War. It's why a poor little disarmed fledgling nation defeated the world's most powerful empire. It's why Texans were able to hold back over 4,000 Mexicans for 13 days, before they all got killed, unfortunately. It's why dirt poor Chinese peasants were able to overthrow their government, and we'd have the advantage when it comes to motivation. So in conclusion, yes, America could defeat the U.S. if we went to war. That all being said, God forbid this ever happens. In conclusion, we would win because we would have the 3 M's, manpower, munitions, and motivation. Money is a fourth, and we all know that the government is in deep debt when it comes to that. Anyways, though, that's the end of this video. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I want to thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.